If you're new here, I have been reading through and watching the To All the Boys trilogy so that I can eventually watch XO Kitty. Because in this house, we consume our media in chronological order. And last night, I watched the second movie, P.S. I Still Love You, so we have some things to discuss. I'm not even gonna toy with your emotions today, okay? I'm just gonna tell you how it is. I loved this movie so much. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but the main one is that this movie just really fully understands the idea of a good love triangle. In the book, Peter is terrible, so when John Ambrose shows up, of course I want Lara Jean to end up with him. But in the movie, they are both presented as pretty solid options. That being said, I really appreciated that this movie incorporated a lot more of Peter's flaws from the book into the film. In the first movie, he doesn't really mess up that much, which is of course completely different from how he is in the books. But in P.S. I Still Love You, he definitely has some pretty sizable missteps, which is important because without those flaws, there's no reason why Lara Jean might end up with John Ambrose. By the way, casting Jordan Fisher as John Ambrose was brilliant casting because he is incredibly charming and lovely, but in a very different way from Noah Centineo, who plays Peter. Let's talk about some of the book to film changes. The most notable being that Stormy is no longer John Ambrose's grandma. I really miss this detail, if I'm being honest. But even so, Holland Taylor was the perfect casting choice for Stormy. She really brought this character to life. There's also a tag-like game that is played by all the characters in the book. It is removed from the film, and I think that's fine. I don't think it really added that much to the story. Easily my favorite addition to this movie is the Chris-Trevor relationship. I just really loved it. I thought they were really cute together, and I thought it added a nice dimension to these characters. I also really liked how they portrayed their dad's new relationship in the film, even though I do think John Corbett is really phoning in this performance. Like, this is some of the laziest acting I've ever seen in my life. I also think the Lara Jean Genevieve relationship is just so much better realized in the film. I loved the scene with the two of them in the treehouse towards the end of the movie. I just thought it was really beautiful. As far as characterization goes, I also really love that their family's relationship with their Korean culture was more highlighted in this film, and I love that there was more of a focus on Lara Jean's love of baking. And from a purely film nerd perspective, this film is just better shot, better lit, and has a better soundtrack than the first movie. I mean, that scene in front of the jellyfish tank, are you kidding me? Ultimately though, where this movie won me over completely was the ending. When she walks out in that dress and he's waiting for her in the snow, yo, I cried. It's such a beautiful moment. And that line where he's like, break my heart, break it into 1,000 pieces, do whatever you want with it. It's so good. Ultimately, this movie does exactly what I want a book-to-screen adaptation to do. It takes the blueprint of the book and elevates nearly every aspect of it. All the characters are so flawed and so messy, but by the end, you are rooting for every single one of them. Not only did I love this more than the book, I also loved it more than the first movie. I really enjoyed it. But unfortunately, that means that we are about to head into the finale of this story, and I'm scared. I'll start reading the book in a couple days, and then as soon as I'm done, we'll watch the movie, and then we'll be jumping into XO Kitty. What are your thoughts on the movie P.S. I Still Love You, or the book, or the series? Let me know. And I'll see you back here to talk about Always and Forever real soon.